Hey everybody, welcome back to Battle Ready Inc. So, first US regional of the season, of the year, and we made top 16. Oh my god, feels so good. We did the same thing last year at last year's A-Con, the first regional we went to. We got top 16, we got our invite, and the rest of the year was just gravy. We got to play for fun and all the big tournaments, so play non-meta things in tournaments. So I'm really looking forward to doing that again this year. I don't have to grind out regional after regional after regional to get my invite again or anything like that. So I am over the moon about this. Super great to have gotten it done, and I got to do it with probably my favorite deck. If I haven't given away yet what the deck is for longtime viewers of the channel, I got a lot of hate today for it, so that should also tell you what deck it is as well. But I wanted to give it one last hurrah before we go into next format. And next format is crazy, super fast, so slow decks next format just aren't going to work. So I was happy that we are able to get it done. Also, make sure you check out our Patreon reward this month. It is Demi Marimon. This is handmade out of clay by my wife, hand painted by her as well. Super cool. It's got the flight stand, so it's over there hovering across the lava flats. Really cool. This is our Patreon reward. Like I said, you can also find this on her Etsy page, link in the description below. Also, there you can find all of her previous memory markers that we featured on the channel in the past as well also. So make sure, if you're looking for a memory marker, go check out her stuff. All right, and just so you guys can see it, there it is on the screen. So Chase Brindley, Battle Ready Inc., 14th place. We ended up losing one game against Beelzemon. I had a big misplay. We'll get to that in a little bit. And then this is a little confusing. I went 1-1-1 against an opponent, and then my other opponent was a 1-0-1 because we didn't finish game 2. So it's weird that it looks like they reported it as a tie, which is very strange. I don't know. I could be wrong. But our record was X1-1-1 or X1-1. Sorry. So we lost one and one tie and won all of our other games. So I'll go ahead and do the deck profile for you guys because some of you may be interested, some of you might not be. And of course, we played on our Gaiomon Emerge Victorious mat that he made for me for Nats. So I played this at Nats. I regretted playing this at Nats. The whole time, I wish I had played this deck instead at Nats the whole time I was there. So I wanted to give it one last go. So if you haven't figured it out yet, it is Security Control. So I wouldn't say our list is too crazy. It's a little bit different from other people's. It got the job done. So we got just the 4 Upamon, no other babies. I didn't want the Viximon. I don't want my Salamons sitting out in the open to die if they're not going to be able to guarantee me the recovery. And so I don't want to start swinging with them until either A, I have a second Salamon in hand that I can Evo, or I'm getting the draws or the security checks. Other than that, there was really no value in ever promoting up early. So of course we have the 4 Salamons to go with that, just for that extra bit of recovery. A huge, I would say honestly, I won more games in matches in total today simply off of deck out. My opponents would just deck themselves, especially in like the Beelzemon matches where they just go through their deck so fast. So if I can just outlast with enough recovery, then I don't have to put enough pressure on. So at the end of the day, it was a security control deck, but it was also just high-end recovery as well. And so, of course, to go with the recovery, we've got the Magna Angemons here. We got the new 2nd Anniversary Gold Rare. With the Mulligan is crazy with this card because I can almost guarantee I see it in hand every game because you want to see this early. You want to get it in play early, get it dead. So swing into security, get some checks with him. If he dies, that's fine, because then your Flame Hellsize are live. You can play them from hand, or if they get hit in security, this is a fantastic one to have in trash to play out. So I really enjoyed seeing this guy early game, and so I could just start rotating him on and off the field from trash. Was super powerful. And then just because we need another level 5 to play, I went with 3 May Crack. Usually you only run 2, but I had the room, so I wanted just a tad bit more consistency, so I went with the 3rd. Also really great for like killing, the Psych Mons and stuff like that, because of course we play the Death X. So to be able to play that off and clear those rookies was super huge. So big fan of that. And it's just another target to Evo our level 5s, or our megas here, our level 6s. First up, of course, we've got the Venusmon. Venusmon's super powerful, just being able to turn off, if you're not familiar, turn off your whole opponent's turn, pretty much, prevent them from doing anything. I really like this in the Ulforce matchup. Because Ulforce is only doing 1 check, or in the Where Garurumon X matchup, just that blanket security attack -1, that sets them back a whole turn, and it just allows me to just do more. So came in really great. Not amazing in like the Grandis matchup, but I didn't see Grandis all day. I don't know if anyone was even playing it. I did also have the 2 fall down modes, just for that, like I said, a little bit more recovery. We love the recovery because we're just outlasting. It's a super attrition based deck, so more recovery is fantastic. And then also it's a threat the opponent has to deal with that they don't really want to deal with, because if it gets deleted, we just get to play out our Salamons again, and so we get more recovery with the Salamon, more security checks. And then there was a few games where I had this and my opponent had no security, and they're like, okay, I can clear the fall down mode, but the fall down mode just plays out a Salamon and you still win. And so like it was really difficult for them to play around the fall down mode. So yeah, she was great. She put in a lot of work, and also she's has some nice synergy with Death X, as well as the May Crack, because the May Crack inheritable on deletion gain 2 memory. So they would delete this, I'd gain 2, and I would get a body on field. Like, yeah, a Ophanion put in work. And then also, I didn't do it today, but I've done it in the past, but Digivolving the Death X on top of the Ophanion is also pretty nice that the opponent doesn't see, especially if they play out something that prevents the reduced play cost like a Psychmon, and then I can just go Death X and I can get around that. I still clear their board. Fantastic card for those wide matchups. This against the Crossheart matchup was huge. Absolutely incredible. I would go, they would put out like a Mervamon, right? And then they put out 2 bodies, and so they've got all these blockers, and have all these Tamers, and just Death X for 2, Digivolve your Mervamon, swing for game with whatever other body I had. So yeah, Death X super strong. Good against like Commandramon matchups as well, which I didn't see, but my my teammate saw Commandramon. So it's really nice just having that versatile, being able to fit it in. For our Tamers, I went with the 4 Kari here, just to stall our opponent out. The second we can start choking our opponent and then having multiple Karis in play, they get 1 check, and then it passes turn. 1 check, pass turn. And so as long as I'm recovering every single turn, then they basically get nowhere. And I just get to continuously build up and stall the game out. And so Kari, really great for that. And then to go with her, we played the 4 Mimi as well, just because playing those recovery options for super cheap is what enabled the Kari to be so fantastic. So, I could play a Holy Wave for 4, and then put my opponent to 1, and then they swing, and I suspend the 2 Karis, and it's back to my turn again. So, maxed out on both of these. Absolutely love them. No changes there. I wouldn't do any changes. Like, that feels so good having 4 and 4. Just that guaranteed. Also, you need the purples in play to get your duo color options online. And these are so cheap that it's really great. Now, something that might surprise people is that the only other Tamer I played, I'll put it over here, there we go, was TK Kari. I had no memory fixer in this deck. No Karis, no TKs, nothing. And that's how my build differs from a lot of people, because the TK Kari here is a fantastic card to keep my opponent from wanting to attack. If our security is equal, then they have no reason to want to power these guys up. There's a couple times I would have, 2 on field, and my opponent's like, I don't want to give you free 4 memory at the start of your turn, especially as soon as I swing, you're going to suspend the Kari, and it's going to pass, and then you gain that memory. And so this was a great card just to keep my opponents at bay. So they didn't want to do that early game aggro, that early game chip damage. That's a big way how you beat security control, is you just hard play bodies and swing, hard play bodies and swing like crazy. And this right here held a lot of people up. And because of that, I won a lot of games because of this guy, just them not wanting to attack, just the mental mind games of it. And then once they do, then I just get crazy value off of it. So super strong. And then at times I would even recover and get us back to even. And so again, playing that mind game, it's like, well, now we're even. You won't get any more memory if I don't attack. I'm like, yeah, don't attack. And so then I just get to keep recovering. And so I'm back in it because they don't want to be overly aggressive. So, and then for our recovery package, of course, we got the 4 Holy Wave here with the new 2nd anniversary card. We've got the 1 of Reinforcing Memory Boost because it's basically the same thing, but you get to pick the card as well as you get that extra bonus memory. The bonus memory does come up. There's been plenty of times my opponent put me to 1, I pop it, and then play a Magna Angemon out, and then put them to like 3, right? And so even with the memory fixer, I got my Magna Angemon in play, I got my recovery, sets up for future turns where I can Evo on top of this guy, whatever the case may be. Absolutely fantastic card, super strong. We've got the 4 Flame Hellscythes to go with the deck, just to be able to constantly play out the Magna Angemon, like I was saying, with the mulligan. Seeing this and getting it in rotation with this was super strong. Just being able to play this repeatedly, as well as getting chip damage with this repeatedly, clearing bodies off repeatedly. This is definitely, like, this right here is the absolute best part of this deck, is these 8 cards right here, just looping them over and over. Well, not looping this, but looping this guy over and over with these while getting damage in. Very strong combinations. Another one that might surprise people is we are playing the I'll put them right there. I'm playing 4 copies of Schwartz. I love this card. Delete 5, level 5 or less. Like, so much of this game is level 5 or less. This and the Were-Garurumon matchup, absolutely incredible, because they get most of their checks in at the level 5 level. When they get into the Mega, like, basically the game's already over. That's like the final stages, but they get most of their damage in with their level 5. So this card in that matchup's great. Any kind of matchups where basically Death X is good, Schwartz is also good. And I can play this guy for super cheap. There was plenty of turns where I would just play this to kill a single rookie and use my Mimis to keep it cheap. And I just keep putting my opponent at 1 over and over. Play a couple Schwartz. It's fine. It's a 6 play cost, but it's not that bad. And then whenever I need it to actually matter, then it still is really great for those other situations. I know some people that play like Eden's Javelin to kill smaller threats, and it draws them a card. But I like the versatility of this being, I can kill a small threat, or I can clear a whole field of threats all at once. So love this card. One of my favorites. Really want a foil of it hopefully soon. We've got the 4 Chaos deck, just because it dodges so much. There's so much on deletion in this game. This and the Shout, the cross matchup, is so good. They absolutely hate this. Won pretty much all of my cross games because of this card. I would just play it and then put it in security, and then they'd have to trash all those sources that they wouldn't be able to save anymore. Yeah, this in that matchup is great. I mean, this is great in a lot of matches, just because it dodges so much. It dodges evade. So I played against Examon in the first round, and this dodged the evade, so really strong card. And then basically the same card as it is the 4 copies of the Lone Key as well, because it's kind of the same thing in another form. I can minus 12k, or I can just stack something in security, and my goal isn't to actually beat my opponent by clearing all their security and swinging for game. My goal is to get my opponent to deck out, burn through all their resources, Yeah, I can put their stuff in security. Their security is going to get really big, but that's fine. I'm not worried about that. But all those resources that you lost in like the cross matchup and things like that, or dodging the deletion mechanics of a lot of stuff is great. The minus 12k, super great in this format. Like I said, I didn't see any Grandis all day. So that was really fortunate that because this card against Grandis isn't too amazing unless they hit it at the third or less, and then we can, of course, get really good value then. But if it's in the first two in security, yeah, you lose a lot of value in the Grandis matchup there. But besides that, I think it's fine. I've only got the one pre-release. Slowly but surely, we'll have my playset of pre-releases and get that foiled because I'm just poor and I can't afford the other ones. They're not even that expensive. They're like $8 and I can't even afford to get them. But yeah, so that's the deck. Like there's not like a bunch of one-off techs or anything like that. I went for maximum security. I have this one-off tech because it's limited to one. If it was a limited 4 or limited 1, I'd absolutely run 4 of it because it's busted. But it's limited 4 for a reason because it is busted. And yeah, so we just went for maximum consistency. I want to see these cards. Every card in this deck is super good and great for whatever role it plays, and so yeah, I just want to see it as fast as possible, and I want to be able to play constantly. I want to play Schwartz after Schwartz after Schwartz. I want to be able to play Chaos Dag after Chaos Dag after Chaos Dag. The Mimis make my turns so powerful because normally these are so expensive. I can play them for super cheap with a Mimi and choke my opponent. Like that's so good. So yeah, I absolutely would not make any changes. I think the only match loss I had all day was against Beelzemon, and the reason for that was that I actually had a misplay at one point. I meant to play a Flame Hell Scythe, but I played a Schwartz instead. I saw the purple and the 6, and I even said Flame Hell Scythe. I had the Flame Hell Scythe in hand, but I just grabbed the wrong card. I just saw the 6 in my hand, and so I threw it out there, and I was like going to grab my Magna, and then my opponent's like, that's not how that card works. And I was like, what? And I looked down and I played the wrong card, and it actually cost me the game because I would have had one more security and a body on field and cleared their threat, which I cleared the threat anyways, but they promoted up and they were able to get lethal that turn, and they had no security left. So I mean, literally it came down to if I had just played the Flame Hell Scythe, got my recovery, and had the body on field, that match would have gone different. At least we would have taken it to a game 3, and I don't know how the game 3 could have gone. All my other Beelzemon matchups were pretty much the same all day. I just decked all my opponents out because their mills are so crazy. The last one, he was definitely, I would say, more familiar with the matchup a little bit more, and he wasn't so quick to mill himself out as much. So I actually had to try to actually win normally without actually going for the deck out. So that was fun. Machine Dramon, played Machine Dramon. That was the no, I ended up winning that one. That was the one I got the 1, and then we went to time in game 2. So I don't really know why that it says 1 on that. I only won technically 1, but I don't know if that's what they're going off of or not, or if they counted it as a tie and I missed it. So yeah, that was pretty good. Examon just can't deal with the Chaos Eggs, and then just the constant recovery. Like Examon's whole mechanic of forcing me to attack, like that does nothing because I don't attack with this. I just remove your bodies and I recover a ton. So Examon struggles there. Let's see, what else did I play? I played against 2 crosses, which were crazy. Like our game 1 and one of them almost went to time. We had like 10 minutes left, so game 2 was like we didn't finish game 2. So that was pretty wild as well. Let's see. Right. Oh, no, my loss, I'm sorry, my loss was not to Beelzemon. I did lose one game to Beelzemon, but I never lost a match. The only match I lost was to War Greymon. BT War Greymon showed up and just absolutely crushed me, just absolutely pummeled me. And yeah, my security was full of absolute fire and gusto, and War Greymon showed up and is like, yeah, okay, swing for 4 checks. And it's like, oh, Chaos Dag, Flame Hell Scythe, Schwartz, Lone Key, cool. Okay, well, I can't do nothing about that. And yeah, so I ended up losing that one pretty handily. Like, one of our games was kind of close. If I had seen a Salamon at any point in the game, because he had no security at one point and no blockers because it's the red build, and I just never saw a Salamon. I mean, we were, I was halfway through the deck and I hadn't seen a Salamon yet, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" So I ended up losing that one because there's no Salamons. Yeah, so yeah, 2 shouts. It was 2 Bielsa, Machine Drill, War Gray, Old Force. I did play 1 Old Force, and they just can't do anything because, like I said, with the Examon matchup, it's the same thing. Evade doesn't work with Chaos Dag or Lone Key, so I just take full advantage of that. And as long as I can keep up with the recovery against Old Force, that was the tricky part. Was like I had to rely on bombs and security, but to keep up with the recovery fast enough was also a big trick of it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. It was pretty great. I'm very happy with it. Can put it back in the binder for a very, very long time. Gonna get hopefully my event pack memes here soon. Hopefully I can pull some with all these regionals and online tournaments and stuff, and so I can get that play set of alt arts for this. Get my Lone Key pre-releases and be good. And I can't remember if Schwartz was announced or not as an alt art. I don't think so. I think it's the only one that I don't have any sort of max rarity. Chaos Dag is getting a gold rare as well. And the May Crack, nothing happening there, but May Crack will eventually get phased out for something else. Magnum on Ace is pretty powerful, but that's a long ways off. So until then, this deck will probably just sit in the binder and just remind me of the good old days, I guess.